Good morning, children. Welcome back. This is the second part of the video which covered the story The Three Questions written by Leo Tolstoy. The story has been taken from class 7th textbook Honeycomb. So now we are going to start the second part of this chapter. Now before we start the second part of the story, let's do a quick recap of part 1. There was a king who thought that if he knew answers to 3 questions, he would never fail in anything. He wanted to be successful in his life. He wanted to do a lot of work for the welfare of his people. So then he thought if he knew the answers to 3 questions, he would never fail. And the questions were: what is the right time to begin any work? Who are the most important people he should listen to? And what is the most important work for him? So, in order to get answers to these 3 questions, he sent messengers announcing a reward to those who answered the questions correctly. Many wise men came with their answers, but their answers were so different that the king was not satisfied. Then he decides to meet a hermit who lived in a forest and he was known for his wisdom. He went to him. He asked the hermit his questions, but the hermit did not answer. When he approached the hermit, he was digging flower beds, and he continued doing so. The king took the spade from the hermit and started digging the ground, as he was too weak and old to work. The king was about to leave without being answered. Suddenly, they saw a man running to them. So this part of the story we had done in the previous video. Now we are going to move ahead in the story with the next part. What is the summary of the next part of the story we will do in the second video. Now children, I am giving you 2 minutes to read this part of the text and then we will discuss the summary. I hope you all might have read it. Now in this chapter, in this part of the text, the story goes like this. The hermit and the king saw a bearded man running towards them. His hands were pressed against his stomach, from which blood was oozing. As he reached the king, he fainted, as there was a large wound in his stomach. The king dressed and redressed the wound till the bleeding stopped. The man felt better and asked for water, which the king gave. The sun had set by then. The king and the hermit took the bearded man into the hut and made him sleep. The king was also so tired by the day's activities that he slept on the floor. So we all know that when we get tired, when we do a lot of physical activity, we get so tired that where and when we get some place, we sleep and we enjoy a sound sleep. So this is what happened with the king also. He was so tired by the day's activities of digging the ground that he slept on the floor. You all can see that he was a king, but easily he slept on the floor because he was extremely exhausted, physically exhausted by the activities of the day. And next day, when he woke up, the bearded man asked to forgive him. The king was very much surprised. What for the man was asking for forgiveness? What he had done? Then the man revealed the fact that he was in fact the king's enemy, and he had followed the king to take revenge on him, because king had once put his brother to death. So he wanted to take revenge on the king, and he had followed him to the hermit's hut, and he was waiting in the bushes for the king to return from the hermit's hut. But as the king did not return, as he was digging the ground for the hermit, the man came out of his hiding, and there he met with the bodyguard of the king, and they had a fight with each other, and the man got wounded by his bodyguard. So he says that when he would have died if the king had not dressed his wounds. So he felt grateful to the king who had saved his life, and he promised to serve the king as a faithful servant forever. Now moving on to the activities. The first that we are going to do here is the power of words. I have written some difficult words from the text on the screen, and I am giving you the meaning of those difficult words. The first word is fainted. It means became unconscious. As the man who came running to them, he fainted. It means he became unconscious. Next word is pardon, which means to forgive. Next is swore. It means took a vow. Next is revenge, which means retaliation. The next word is seized, which means took away by force. Next is made up my mind. It means determined. Next word is recognize, which means to identify. So these are few words which I noted down and I gave it on the screen so that you can know their meaning. And one work I am giving you, that you all are going to make one sentence each of these words in your notebook. Fine? Okay. The next activity that we are going to do is preposition master. Now there are many prepositions used in the text, and now I am giving some exercise, one exercise based on the preposition. Some sentences are given to you having some blanks in them, and you have to fill the blanks with correct preposition. The first one is, the king and the hermit saw a bearded man running dash them. The king washed and covered it dash his handkerchief. Next is, the man felt better and asked dash something dash drink. The next one is, dash is the this time the sun had set and the air was cool. Next is, the king with hermit's help carried the wounded man dash his hut. The bearded man asked the king dash forgive him. He vowed dash take revenge dash him. So I am giving you 1 minute to do these fill-ups, and thereafter we will discuss the answer. Now let's check if your answers are correct. The first sentence was, the king and the hermit saw a bearded man running towards them. The next is, the king washed and covered it with his handkerchief. Next is, the man felt better and asked for something to drink. The next one is, by this time the sun had set and the air was cool. The king with hermit's help carried the wounded man into his hut. Next is, the bearded man asked the king to forgive him. And the last one is, he vowed to take revenge on him. So these are the answers of those fill-ups. I hope you all must have got it correct. The next activity that we are going to do now is quiz time. This is one of your favorite activities. Now you all will answer these questions. I have already given the 4 options to you, and you have to choose the best option out of these 4. The first question is, the bearded man came What will be the correct answer? To get reward from the king for answering his questions, to ask the hermit questions, to find the king to warn him of danger, or to kill the king. So the correct answer is to kill the king. The next one is, who wounded the bearded man in the wood? The king's bodyguard, the magician, the hermit, or the counselors? So the correct answer is the king's bodyguard. The next question is, what is the noun form of bleed? The options are bleeding, blood, bled, and bleeded. So the correct answer is blood. The next question is, choose the synonym of lost consciousness. The options are fainted, died, dizzy, blurry. And the correct option is fainted. Now moving on to the next activity, we have one word answer. I have written certain sentences on the screen whose answer is one word. Now just let's start. The first question is, the short story, The Three Questions, is written in the form of the answer is a parable. Now if you remember, I told you in the first part what is a parable. Parable is a type of short story which is written to give a message or a moral or a lesson to the readers. And a similar word you may remember, fable. And you know how fable is different from parable? In fable we have animal characters who are the main character. The protagonist of the stories are animals. Here in parable we take humans as the main characters. But both this type of stories are written on the purpose to give a message or a moral. The next question is, the king left his horse and bodyguard in. Where did he leave the horse and his bodyguard? He left them in the forest. And what was the reason behind it? You remember, because the hermit only met ordinary people. He would never meet king or a rich or a wealthy person. So king wanted to get his answers, so he went to meet the hermit in ordinary clothes, and for that he had to leave his bodyguard at a certain distance from the hermit's hut. So he left them in forest. The next question is, what did the king dress his wounds with? So the king dressed the bearded man's wounds with his handkerchief. The next question is, the Tsar wanted to know the answers of his questions to become. Now here I would like to point out one word, Tsar. Its pronunciation is Tsar, although it is written as Tsar. See, it is a Russian story, and in Russia the kings are called Tsar. So what did he wanted to know the answers of his questions to become successful, so that he would never fail in any of his endeavor. Now we have a very interesting activity, that is edit the passage. Here I have taken one passage from your text and then I have written it here on the screen, and each and every line has one error in it. You are supposed to find out the error first, write the error in the incorrect column, and then correct the error and write the answer in correct column. So I am giving you 2 minutes to complete this work, find out the error from each line and then correct the error. And then afterwards we will discuss the answer. Now I hope you all must have got your answers. It is very simple. The first line says, the king turned round and see a. Now you can see here the first verb used in the sentence is turned. So when this verb is given in past tense, the other verb also has to be in past tense. It cannot be in present tense. So the king turned round and saw. The king turned round and saw a bearded man running into them. So what is the mistake in the second line? Saw a bearded man running into them. Into means something, going into. It shows the movement. But here the bearded man came running towards them. He was moving towards them, running towards them, not into them. He was not bumping into them. So the bearded man, he saw a bearded man running towards them. So into is the error and towards is the correction. The next word is, sentence is, his hands was pressed against. Again the mistake is very simple. You all must have got the answer. His hands. Now here the subject, the noun is plural. His hands. So it should be were. The hands were pressed against his stomach, from which blood was flowed. Now again the mistake is was flowed. It's not correct. It should be was flowing. So his hands were pressed against his stomach, from which blood was flowing. So mistake is flowed and the correction is flowing. When he reaches the hermit, he fainted. Now again, as I told you in the first sentence, when he reaches the hermit, he fainted is wrong. Two different verbs are used in the same sentence to refer to the same time, and it's not possible that one is present and other one is past. So when he reached the king, he fainted. The entire passage is given in past tense. It is a story which happened in past tense. So when he reached the king, he fainted. So now I hope you all have got the correct answers. Now the next activity that we have is based on antonyms. Now antonyms are the words that have opposite meanings. And the same way we have read about synonyms also. Synonyms are the words that have similar meanings. But here we are going to do antonyms. Now I have given certain sentences on the screen, and I have underlined some words. You have to find the antonyms of those underlined words and then rewrite the sentence with the antonyms. The first sentence is, let's start the work. So you have this word underlined here is start. You have to find out the antonym of start, the opposite of start, and then rewrite the sentence. This is how you're supposed to do. I'm just giving you 2 minutes to do, find out the answer, and then we will discuss the correct answers. Now I'm sure you all have got the answers. Let's check it. The first sentence was, let's start the work. You had to write the antonym of start. So what would be the antonym of start? End. And the sentence would be, let's end the work. The second sentence was, there is a lot of love that is visible in this house. So the antonym would be hatred. Antonym of love would be hatred. There is a lot of hatred that is visible in this house. Next is, it was a very starry night. The antonym of very would be less. So it was a less starry night. The next is, this food is stale. Now the answer would be, this food is fresh. The servant will squat in the hall. Squat means sitting leisurely, sitting with your legs expanded or stretched comfortably, you can say. So here the servant will stand in the hall. Next is, this building is unsafe. So the antonym of unsafe would be safe. This building is safe. This is the primary branch of the union, and this is the secondary branch of the union. This necklace is cheap. The opposite of cheap is expensive. So the answer would be, This necklace is expensive. The next activity that we have thought of is discuss and debate. It is going to be a very, very interactive and lively session. And the topic is also very related to the text that we have done so far. Forgiving our enemies is better than punishing them. So this is the topic, and we are going to have a class discussion on this topic. Each of you is invited to give your views, what you think about the topic. And before that, I would like to mention certain, I've already written certain points here, and then I would elaborate on these points, and you can also come up with your own points. Forgiving our enemies is always better than punishing them. It is a process of changing the attitude, feeling, and thoughts towards the offender. And forgiving somebody is not an easy work. But if you forgive your enemies, then your enemy becomes your friend. And that friend becomes the most loyal and faithful friend, and he will never betray you. This is the reward of forgiving our enemies. Punishment is very easy. We can easily punish anybody, even our enemies, because when we are revengeful, when we are very angry, we feel like punishing our enemies. If they have done something wrong to us, they have hurt us, and we want to punish them. But punishment is not the remedy. What punishment does? It makes the person more arrogant, it makes the person more revengeful. You punish the enemy will find his ways to take revenge on you, and this process will go on. This will become an never ending process. So that is why it is always acceptable, it is always believed that we should forgive our enemies. It's not for the benefit, for the goodness of the enemies that they are being forgiven, but it is for our benefit as well. See, this is, as I have written, a process of changing the attitude. The attitude, the feelings and thoughts towards the offender gets changed. These feelings get changed, and it restores the valued relationship. It means what the relationship that you develop with your enemies, it becomes long lasting. As you have seen in the text also, the bearded man became king's enemy, king's friend, and he told him that he would serve him as his servant for his entire lifetime. So this is what we get after forgiving our enemies. We get valued relationships, and that we can restore, we can keep them or cherish them forever. One more benefit we get from forgiving our enemies is it frees the people from negative feelings. We are not harming our enemies, we are harming ourselves, because all the time our negative feelings overpower us. We become pessimistic, we become aggressive, we become angry, we want to take revenge. So always we are surrounded with negativity when we think of taking revenge on our enemies, or when we think of punishing our enemies. So psychologically, somewhere in the mind, it hurts us. And when we forgive our enemies, what happens? We win a lifetime faith and loyalty of the offender. That just now I mentioned it, that the person becomes very loyal and faithful to you for the entire life, because he would never forget that you had forgiven him. Now hence increases the number of friends. Now it is always suggested, it is always advised that we should have a number of friends. The list of our number of friends should be more than the or bigger than the list of our number of enemies. So when we are converting all our friends in enemies into friends, what are we doing? We are strengthening our power, we are strengthening our positivity. So at the end, I would say that forgiving our enemies is always better than punishing them. And I tell you, children, you must practice it in your life. try to forgive your enemies. Try to forgive those friends who have hurt you, those classmates who have hurt you. Now you will see the change in your personality as well as the behavior and the attitude of the person you have forgiven. Now, children, I am going to recite a short motivational story related to this theme: forgiving is better than punishment or revenge. The story goes like this. There was a man who came out of his home to admire his new truck. To his surprise, he found that his 3-year-old son was happily hammering dents into the shiny paints of his new truck. The man ran to his son, knocked him away, and hammered the little boy's hands into pulp as punishment. When the father calmed down, he rushed his son to the hospital. Although the doctors tried desperately to save the crushed bones, he finally had to amputate the fingers from the boy's both hands. When the boy woke up from the surgery and saw his bandaged stubs, he innocently said, "Daddy, I'm sorry about your truck." Then he asked, "But when are my fingers going to grow back?" The father went home and committed suicide. Now you must think about this story the next time someone steps on your feet or you wish to take revenge. So that is why, children, it is always said that we should forgive the people who have hurt us, who have harmed us. Maybe in the course of time they will realize their mistake, or maybe our goodness will make them a changed person. Next is our mind map. Mind map is very interesting. All of you should make mind map of each and every chapter that you do in the school. When you come back home, you must make a mind map of the entire chapter, and it really helps you at the time of revision. It helps you understand the concept very clearly. Now what we have done here, I have made a mind map, and it's about the chapter 3 questions. And mind map have different parts, different aspects, like what did you learn in this chapter. So first we learnt about the author, Leo Tolstoy. I have written only the heading, the heading of the author, Leo Tolstoy. Now what description I gave you about the author, that you are going to write in this box, in this bubble. Okay, and the next one is summary. So whatever you have learned so far, you can write the summary in this summary box. Next is theme. So you can write about the theme of this chapter in this box. Next is characters. Then comes vocabulary. What all difficult words you came across, you write those words along with their meaning. And remember, children, this you are going to remember for long. You will not forget this. If you do this practice of making mind map of every chapter, or maybe you can make it a routine habit. Whatever you do at school, you come back home and then make a mind map of that period, what we did in that, what we learned in that period. Next is activities like quiz, editing, fill-ups. So many activities we have done. So you can write some points of these in activities section. Next comes antonyms. So we did antonyms also. You can write what all antonyms we did. Only the words you can write. The words with their antonyms. Nothing more. Now children, let's have a quick recap of what we have done today. I have given certain questions. If you answer these questions correctly, it means you have learnt the lesson, you have understood every concept. The first question is, what had the man sworn? Second is, what had the king done to the man? Man is bearded man. What did the king's bodyguard do with him? How did the king help the bearded man? So these are few questions that I have written here, and we'll get the answers on the next slide. Now the first question was, what had the man sworn? And the answer is, the man had sworn revenge on the king. The second was, what had the king done to the bearded man? The king had put his brother to death and seized his property. He had captured his property. Next question is, what did the king's bodyguard do with him? The answer is, the king's bodyguard injured the bearded man or wounded the bearded man. The next question goes like this: how did the king help the bearded man? The answer is, the king helped the bearded man by dressing and redressing his wounds. Now the last part of this session is assignment session, that is home assignment. Now children, I am giving you certain questions. You will write them down in your notebook and then read the answers. First question is, what did the king find when he reached the hermit's hut? So what did he find there? What did he see hermit doing? This is what you have to write here. What made the bearded man change his attitude towards the king? So this is a long question. You're going to write, how did his attitude towards the king change? What had the king done to him which changed the attitude of bearded man? Next question is, what would have you done had you been in the place of the king, and why? So it's an open-ended question. It is asking, if you had been in the place of the king, what would have you done and why? So this is how you have to answer these 3 questions in your notebook. Now this is the end of this video. Again, I'll come with the third part of the video in which this lesson would be completed. Thank you once again. Thank you all of you.